And Safuhene, let me come to you. Several identifiable groups, including labor unions, have kicked against the move as they fear pensions in government trust would be affected. Do you think they have genuine reasons to kick against the move?
Well, I don't see why they will not have genuine reasons to be concerned. Because the unions,
right,
in many instances, the monies they have invested is the money of the individual members of that union who have invested it in the name of the union. And these individuals have done these investments knowing that these are the most stable investments. They have done their own individual, private, personal projections, budgeting with these things. So if out of the blue, I'll use that word, out of the blue, they get such a directive that the government has decided, or a decision has been taken, that there is going to be some haircut, especially when they have been virtually reassured that such a thing was not going to happen. Naturally, they will not be happy.
Right, Safuhene, we have our first caller. Hello. Oh, we lost him. So please continue with your submission.
So, they naturally will not be happy. So, and you see, I'll come back to the issue of the advice the Attorney General gave.
Right.
It has, for it to be binding, it has to be by some consensus. It has to be mutually agreeable and acceptable. So it would have been best for the,
Right. Good morning to you, Ken. Hello, good morning, Ken.
Yeah, good morning. I can hear you, please.
Right, thanks so much for calling. You can share your thoughts now.
Okay, I just want to contribute to your discussion, and I heard one of your panels saying that President said there will be no haircut, and I even heard the minister also saying the same thing, that there will be no haircut last address that he did. These are some of the things we want to be hearing or seeing. Our president is not a god. He can promise that there will be no haircut, but the circumstance, the environment, the situation can change that statement that he made. So we have to be linking his statement to the environment situation at hand so that we brief the public the fact, the truth, not everything that will turn it into politics. That makes those of us who don't have party think otherwise. But when the elders are educating us, letting the public, the whole world knows that the environment, the situation, what President said, cannot be there concrete 100%. He said it with the action and then the view that it should be like that. So if the chance didn't come for the way to pave way smoothly for that to happen and things are changing, they should let us know. The way they are discussing it, they should go into the source and see the reason why the president said this and the reason why it is not coming out like that, so that we learn from your discussions that you've been doing. It shouldn't be always cutting one place. We want the truth to come out. The president said this, and that is not happening. What investigation have they done? What is the details that led what the president said didn't work through? Then we learn from there. That is what I want to tell them.
All right, thanks so much for calling, Ken.
Can I respond?
Yes, you can.
This is a situation which is not a knee-jerk or immediate situation.
Right.
You would have analyzed the entire problem, and you would have looked at different solutions to it, and you would know, in analyzing the situation, whether there will be a haircut or there won't be a haircut. And sometimes, how you bring information out, you skew it in such a way that it does not cause panic. Can you imagine, on that Sunday, when the president addressed the nation, and he had indicated there's definitely going to be a haircut. On Monday morning, do you know the run for people's money in the banks?
Right. Good morning to you, Peter. You're calling us from Sunyani. How are you doing?
Oh, we are doing great here. Only that the economic situation in Sudan is not actually being friendly. Looking at the way the country is in a mess. Anyway, good morning to your panel members and to your good self. You've been a very good. I always like your program, especially Mr. Gantua, very, very objective-minded person. You see, my sister, the truth of the matter is that this government is always not candid with the people of Ghana. Sometimes people, so some CEOs and other people, always foresee that this is going to, what is going to happen. When they mention it, or when they bring it out to tell the government this is what is going to happen, they will deny, but they will later on come and do what they denied. For instance, when they said people were projecting that this government is likely to go for INS, we saw them both left from right everywhere saying, sometimes even swearing, using the Bible to quote a whole lot of things. Ghana is a proud nation and what kind of things. But we later on went there. When you come to this haircutting, I remember that is the opposition in parliament came out and was saying that we should be ready for a haircut. The president vehemently came out to deny and said that there's not going to be any haircuts. Pension funds and whatever will be intact and people will be safe. Now look at where we are. So let's see that the government, that is Nanado's government, has nothing beneficial for Ghana. All that we are seeing that they only come and then just tell us anything, believing that, excuse me, maybe more Ghanaians, we are fools. Why should we always take Ghanaians for granted? Always just think that, oh, I am in power, so whatever that I want, I should do. My sister, the way things are going, it is very dangerous. I'm a teacher, and let me tell you, since 2018, we've never received that is car maintenance allowance. As a teacher, I have done everything. Meanwhile, you are there, that we should tighten our belts. Meanwhile, you don't have even breakthroughs. In fact, God save this country. Thank you, my sister.
Okay, thanks so much for calling, Ken. Have a great day. Safoine, do you have anything to say on that?
What do I have? I mean, Ken it's not the best.
Yeah.
I mean, and we must be honest about it.
But do you think this policy is something Ghanaians should sacrifice for to help the alien economy?
The fact of the matter is this. The truth of the matter.
Right.
Even in the budget that was presented,
Exactly.
the finance minister has made projections that he is going to receive assistance from the World Bank to the tune of 1.3 billion. We are going to get some level of debt forgiveness and everything. Everything put together, there is still a gap in the budget as we speak. There's a gap. How are we going to fill it? We have to do some drastic cuts. And drastic cuts should go across board. Me, I will add my voice to the call for a cut in the size of government. We must cut it to save money, to help. Because some drastic measure, if we don't do that, it will not help us.
Look.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, I'll come to you, but let's talk to Ibrahim first. Hello, good morning to you, Ibrahim.
Yeah, good morning.
Right. You can share your thought with us now.
The problem now in Ghana here is there is difficulties. We are facing difficulties in Ghana, it's true. And the president is telling us that we should all help to pay our taxes. I know the law bans the president not to pay taxes and the vice president. So can it be possible you also can suspend that law and pay taxes and even ask some of the ministers to go? Then take about 60 and remain about 30 ministers. And let them, some of them to also not to take their pay for 6 months. I'm sure we will not go to IMF. But the problem is, you imagine one minister is taking land cruiser and houseboy, house girl, free light, free water, free everything, even food. We are feeding clothes. We are doing all these things. And you are asking the poor person to pay taxes. And you are not showing leadership. You're supposed to show leadership. Even this kind of cathedral, this thing should stop. It is nonsense. Because the cathedral will not come and put food on our table. And it's not going to be today or tomorrow. It is going to take for more than, you see, the basilica, it takes more than 100 years. Some of them 900 years, some of them 800 years, some of them 1,000 years to build it. And you are going to force for yourself. You say you are going to do it within your term. How can it be possible? And you are forcing Ghanaians to pay taxes.
Okay, thanks so much for calling, Ken. This brings me to the next topic. Now, former president, yes, opinion. Former President John Ejekon Kufuor says presidents should have no difficulty reshuffling their ministers. Meanwhile, there have been several calls for President Akufo-Addo to reshuffle his ministers, but the president has said that he will not reshuffle for the sake of it. Safohene, what's your take on this?
Yes, reshuffle should not be done just for the sake of reshuffle.
Right.
But reshuffles are essential and necessary. Reshuffling somebody from one place to the other doesn't necessarily mean that person is not doing a good job. Sometimes you need to put a fresh face there to bring new ideas, to reinvigorate. That's why even in our constitution, no matter how good any president is, we say after 2 terms, go and even if it's the same party, let's get somebody else to do the same job.
Okay.
You know, so reshuffle is essential, and I support the idea.
Okay.
Cutting the size of government, I also support it.
Right.
We must cut the size of government.
Safohene, I'll come back to you, but before that, let's speak to Francis. Hello, good morning to you, Francis. Where are you calling us from?
Good morning. How are you, TV Africa?
We're doing well. I hope you're doing well too.
Yes, great Ablo and Koku for me.
I will. Let's hear
the program.
Okay, please do.
Yes, the budget. We have been informed that there will be freeze on employment in 2023. Is that not so? Yes. So let's look at it this way. Doctors will not be employed. Teachers will not be employed. Nurses will not be employed. All these people are supposed to go to the classroom to teach our children. Doctors are to us when we are sick. Government will not employ these people. There just be
France, right, thank you so much for calling in, Francis. Do have a great day. Safohene, you were on the submission.
Yes, I'm not even exactly what else. So in terms of the reshuffle, yes, it is necessary. It's necessary. And then it helps to reinvigorate. And also, there's also, like you said, the call for the reduction in size. As for me, I made it clear. I'm in support of that. Because it is a trend that almost every government in the world is doing in response to the economic hardship that every country in the world is facing. You know, oil prices are going up. There's challenges. So everybody is doing it. And I think we must also do the same. Now, the last gentleman, Francis, I think was talking about he wasn't happy with the freeze in employment and that kind of stuff. Yes, it is true. There is a freeze in employment. Freeze doesn't mean nobody will be employed.
Right.
Because some essential positions will have to be replaced. When somebody leaves that position, the position has to be filled. In addition, there are some essential services that are being extended and expanded. We have new hospitals coming up, new schools coming up. We're not going to say freeze on employment, so therefore we won't go and find doctors to put there. So those places will be properly manned by the proper people, you know. So yes, it is true that there will be a freeze, but freeze doesn't mean there won't be people brought in to ensure the government business runs.
Okay.
You see, in times like this, those who are professionals, they can always get employment. As Philip rightly refers to hospitals, you refer to accountants, you refer to lawyers. Those professionals, nurses, they will get jobs. What about those who are unprofessional? What about those who have to live 9 to 5, hand to mouth? That is what we're talking about. And that's where the chunk of the people are. And that is how the freeze affects employment.
Right. Opinion, I'll come back to you, but let's speak to... hello, good morning to you.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well. I hope you're doing well too.
Alhamdulillah, by His grace I'm blessed. Yeah,
right. Your name?
Let me say good morning to your panelists, especially
Okay.
Mr. Jantua. You see, this Ghana that we are in, I'm sorry to say, this current government thinks Ghanaians are some zombies, that we don't know our left and our right. Look, the first caller who came and said that the president promised something and due to some, difficulties is the reason why. Look, what difficulties? What is he talking about? What is he talking about? Look, the same president who said that ETC Council are common. Are we not feeling hungry now? Look at the way Ghanaians are suffering. Look at the way Ghanaians are suffering. And you then come and tell us that, look, ETC Council are common, and now the accommodation is even worse. Look, let me end up with this. If a bachelor lied that he is married, he's only deceiving his manhood. Thank you and God bless you.
Right. Thanks so much for calling in.